AKAPAD's Day 21 of the 21 Days of Dread. We're talking Monster High. Yes, something I never ever thought I would sit down with all of you to discuss. Monster High. It's a live action movie. Let's go. Can we just start with a quick caveat? Monster High is already the second greatest movie based on the toy line ever. It's behind the 2007 Transformers, the movie. And it is between G.I. Joe Retaliation. Now, all three of those movies the internet hates here on AKAPAD. So film buff, and thank you for joining me. Thank you for hanging out. But this is AKAPAD's The Film Buff Podcast. And you're smack middle in the 31 Days of Dread. This is where we do one horror movie a day. Say it with me, for the entire month of October. AKAPADers, we have a shocker. We have a oh my god, this movie blew me away. I don't know why I put it on. I put it on because there's like a memory that I have about Monster High. So back in 2010, this is when the toy line launched. The toy line is perfectly positioned at the time, with Bratz perfectly positioned against Barbie, and Monster High and Bratz, we're kicking Barbie's butt up and down the toy aisle. Bratz got sued out of existence, mostly, right? I would have to double check that. But a employee at Mattel, while working on the Barbie line, created Bratz, and I think Mattel was able to claim that they owned it because he did it under their employment. Yada, yada, yada. But Monster High, the logo, came to us in 2016. But in 2010, because you might imagine and picture the logo, because I'm sure a lot of my listeners peruse the toy aisle. Nothing wrong with that. I love the toy aisle. I just like the colors, and I like seeing what's new and just absorbing what the companies are doing. And, I look for the rare figures. I really don't buy them when I find them, though, but I like looking. Monster High in 2010 was a time where I had a girlfriend. We were together for 5, maybe 7 years, but she had a kid. And as that kid was growing into the first and the second grade, because, I was with her for quite a while, we would do the toy store runs. And that child fell in love with Monster High, and we got them all. So sitting down to watch this movie, I was just curious of how close to some of the toy stuff was this. Now, talking to you, though, you have to understand the Monster High franchise. It's 17 movies. It's multiple television series. It's multiple web series. Soundtracks. It's 20 albums and soundtracks. Girls grow up with Monster High. They go into adulthood, they get them for their kids, and we're in generation 2 of the Monster Highness, we'll call it. But sitting down, I'm just like, hey, what are we doing with Claudine? What are we doing with the Frankenstein girl? What are we doing with the Cleopatra girl? All of that. I had to refresh myself on some of the names. I had to double check what some of the male characters were. And number one, what we got is a musical, but again, that fits if we're marketing to women and young girls. The music in this 2022 feature, that's right, 2022. So this goes with last year's contention for 31 Days of Dread. 31 Days of Dread, the whole baseline last year was 2022 is the greatest year in American horror and worldwide horror that we've ever seen. And we're able to put this movie now with that, and rightfully so. The music alone made me fall in love with this movie. The girl that plays Claudine, I don't know how or why, but she just looked like the toy to me. I keep watching her. The girl that plays Cleopatra looked like the toy, as you would imagine. The Frankenstein girl, awkward but perfect. And we get a story where, the bad guy at the end just wants to just kill all the monsters, kill all the humans. He's related to Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Gets a power amulet, he's able to suck and duplicate power, so we get some more combat plot line in there. And we're dealing with this idea that I think relates to the audience, and it came to fruition. See, I grew up with the X-Men, Pride of the X-Men, the famous pilot that really never took off. But Pride of the X-Men introduces the idea of a student getting introduced to the X-Men, and the story takes off from there. We see it in the movie, we see it with Rogue, so we see it here. But then I just started thinking, I'm like, there is a lot of young adult stories that deal with a school, with some type of academy, something special for the kids, or something special for special kids. So Claudine can't relate to anyone. She's stuck between two worlds because she's part human. They don't like humans in the monster universe. But she goes through a portal. Her mother went to the school. Her father's a human. Her mother's just not around. So she, orphan child syndrome. Great plot point. And she's torn between two worlds. And the first song is about her feeling amongst her own. And then as she spends time in the school, we learn how and why, and why humans are ostracized. Now, the true arc of this movie is the school owns up to it. They're like, you know what? We got to reverse our policy because Claudine, you saved us all. So, again, it's Hogwarts, it's Harry Potter. There's nothing but fun. There's nothing but joy. There should be a big smile on your face as you're watching this. The plot, the special effects, everything in front of our eyeballs and around our ears is well done enough to maintain our attention. I love the idea that, again, like we go into a portal. We're moving into another world of this monster world. The guy that plays Count Dracula, or the Dracula father, it's fun. The vampires talk to each other via mirror. All the cell phones are in the shape of a coffin, as is the shape of the lockers. This is nothing but fun. It's a wonderful brain dump. And what I did was, as soon as I was done with this, and true test here, I started the second movie. There's two of these. I put on the second movie and just felt happy when people were reunited. And I felt like I was seeing characters again. That's the effect. That's how you know you've absorbed something. And rightfully so. You are a part of this universe as an audience member when you're just happy to see characters reunite. I don't know, people. I love this movie. Check it out, Monster High. I call it on Paramount Plus. Day 22, we're going to talk about, of the 31 Days of Dread 2023 edition, year 7. We're sticking to lightheartedness. And we're going to talk about the live action Goosebumps Jack Black. And that also, in effect, blew me away. We'll talk about it. Rock and roll, everyone.